Yo, it is Monday night, and you know what that means? Another exciting installment of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy, the Franchise Player, Double B Bad Blood, joined by that dude right there, the man who likes to mix shit up in wrestling, the Mixologist, Mr. Chemical Julian, that little dude down there who's always playing video games, that guy, Shane Husky, the man in the chair, and this one right here, the newest addition to the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, Miss Anissa Barr. How are you today?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
Oh, you don't know what you've gotten yourself into.
Oh, it's about to be some crazy shenanigans
It's
tonight.
about to be some shenanigans tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Shane.
Yeah.
So tell us. Well, you know what? Let's do this. As out of
What?
respect. Out of respect. We need to go ahead and give some time to the fallen, to one of our fallen brothers, the late great Scott Hall, otherwise known as Razor Ramon to the young people these days, because they don't know anything about wrestling. So what I like to do is a 10 bell. So let's start the show out with a 10 bell. See, Shane, that was a 10 count.
One
No.
time. I did
All it
that.
takes is one time, Shane. All it takes is one time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the action. Rest in peace, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, founder of the
The
NWO.
man that changed the Monday Night Wars forever.
Vader
Forever.
Scott Hall, baby.
Yeah.
You guys know that taking someone off life support that hits home with me like really bad, because I had to do the same thing not once but twice in my entire life.
Yeah.
And it's a real sad situation, and it's always a sad situation to lose a fallen brother, no matter what level, be it indie wrestling, legendary status, whatnot. 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, a man who revolutionized professional wrestling. I mean, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon had the very first amazing ladder match
Yes, there is.
for the WWF Intercontinental Championship at the time, and someone who's been in the business 29 years. I look at that as the stepping stone to the evolution of a ladder match. I mean, you got the Dudleys and the Hardys, and you got with the Dudleys, the Hardys, and who else was it in that fucking thing?
Edge and Christian.
Edge and Christian, that's right. You got those guys that revolutionized the tag team version of a ladder match, but Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, in my opinion, put the ladder match on the map. And so thank you, Scott Hall, for all the bumps and bruises you took to entertain the masses and to inspire a new age of wrestlers, because a lot of guys that I trained with grew up watching Scott Hall. As a matter of fact, there was a guy who posted something online today, and I'm not going to put his name out there because I'm not going to do that, but his character was inspired by Scott Hall. So shout out to Scott Hall, his family, Cody Hall, one of the members of the Bullet Club at one time.
Yep.
His wife, his kids, whatever, whatnot, his friends, Sean Waltman, who you're a friend with, Kevin Nash, Conan, anyone that's ever been involved in the NWO,
The Click.
Anyone from the
Okay.
Click, I mean, the Godwins,
The Ringside
Undertaker.
Collectibles did a very cool action figure trivia where the Click was hugging in the steel cage and everything, and I thought that was pretty sweet of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, one of the most infamous leaked videos in the history of professional wrestling, the Curtain Call.
Correct.
Shout out to the Curtain Call kid. He actually was going to be on the podcast a couple weeks ago, but got sick. So shout out to the Curtain Call kid who actually filmed that and, made history. At one time faces and heels were never meant to commingle. And in Madison Square Garden in a freaking house show, it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
That's right. Rest in peace, Carl. All right, so
it's really funny because my lady knows who Scott Hall is, because when we started dating, one of the first times we went to a restaurant, we were leaving. I saw a toothpick on the way out.
And did she flick it at you?
I grabbed the toothpick and I took it out and I flicked it at her. She was like, "What the fuck is that about?"
Wow. She was like, "Wait a minute,
funny.
Chico."
Yeah.
Say hello to the bad guy.
Hey, yo. And I kind of had to explain it to her, and she was like, "Oh, it must be a wrestling thing." I was like, "Yeah."
It must be a wrestling thing.
Match made in heaven.
My son would see me grab the toothpick and he would just like run away because he knew what was coming.
Right. Right.
Runaway toothpick.
Oh man. Well, let's get into the action. Let's get into this crazy edition of Monday Night Raw. I mean, yeah.
So Monday Night Raw starts off with a graphic would start for Scott Hall. Immediately Twitter was like, "Oh, we can't get a 10-bell salute. We can't get a tribute package."
Already.
It'll come later. So Kevin Owens has his promo, and actually what we get is a video of Stone Cold Steve Austin saying how he's gonna open one last can of whoop ass on Kevin Owens at WrestleMania.
What?
Evidently, this is gonna happen on Saturday night in the main event, and it's gonna be on the KO show. So Stone Cold made it sound like a match.
He really did make it sound like it was going to be a match.
Yeah.
Which is why people are confused if it's going to be just a talk show or a match, because the way he said it, it felt like it was going to be a match.
Which is something I completely do not understand.
Yeah.
We all know that Steve Austin can't wrestle a match right now, but modern medicine, man. I mean, look,
he could be getting the stem cells in his knees.
Yeah.
Whatever. We don't
modern
know.
medicine changes everybody these days. I mean, you got guys that aren't ever supposed to walk again, not only walking, but like, doing
wrestling.
miraculous things. So
I mean, Edge is in the ring wrestling matches, and he was not supposed to ever be doing that again. So,
What's a new theme song?
I mean, more miraculous things have happened in the past. After Steve Austin's promo, KO cut a promo in the ring, which was fan-fucking-tastic.
KO's great.
It was great. He hit all the Austin spots. He started off with the "Hey yo." He did the "Hell no" and the "Oh hell yeah," and he said there was not going to be any. He said he's going to drink. He doesn't like beer, but he would drink a Canadian beer. I thought he was going to say LeBlat's and make the place pop or make the place boo him, which would have been great, but he didn't. But he gave the cameraman a great stunner, and the cameraman
sold that.
Cameraman sold the stunner. Fantastic.
Yes, he did.
So keeping on beat with these Raws leading into WrestleMania, we've had like a match-loaded night once again. And the first match of the night was our U.S. champion, Finn Balor, in a non-title matchup against his apparent arch rival, Damian Priest, who he will be also facing at Mania. Which brings us back to our usual discussion.
Oh, man, gotta love this usual comment.
So, I'm not a wrestler.
I'm not.
Me, I'm just a chemical engineer.
I mean, who do we know who's a wrestler on this podcast?
I'm just a fan.
And you say you're a wrestler?
Yeah.
I mean, I actually been in the ring before, and I ran the ropes. So.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal, guys. She is now our correspondent on the ground.
All right. So
she's the wrestler on this podcast.
So, yeah, but there's only one person I see here with several belts behind him.
Yeah, with 4 championship belts.
Shit, I forgot.
So let's say,
damn it,
Bad Blood. You're the franchise player.
Oh man,
yeah.
And let's say you're in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He was,
and someone goes, "Hey man, it's day 28.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to defend that OIWA championship for 30 days. So it's day 28. So we're going to give you a non-title match. Grab your belt, put on your boots, head to the ring.
Okay.
So you go down to the ring, and you're like, it's day 28. I ain't got to really defend it until day 30.
Okay. I see where you're going with this.
You think maybe you look at your watch and you go, time to phone it in? Just let someone get a roll up on me?
I don't know.
Just let someone catch me slipping with the old
the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment.
Most devastating move of all of sports entertainment.
Let the Archer of Infamy go ahead and hit the what is it, tornado twist of fate, whatever it's called. Just let him hit it and let it go without even cutting the turnbuckle this time.
So I'm going to have to say no, because see, if you do something like that, I'm going to have to say no.
Well, you don't think maybe you but you guys have a match coming up on day 30. You don't think maybe you'd give him this one to let him like just coax him into a sense of false comfort, so that like maybe on day 30 he'd be thinking you're soft, and so you might catch him slipping. A little reverse psychology there.
So what you're saying is, would I contribute my loss or win to 50-50 booking? The answer is no.
I was giving you more credit for being crafty and like reeling them in, but okay.
Well, here's the thing. And I always point this out, and I'm going to point it out for the ladies and gentlemen that are watching at home. If you're a professional wrestler, you don't want to lose. If you're a champion and you get beat in a non-title match, that kind of degrades you as a champion. It's like the Lakers. I fucking hate the Lakers. How about the Clippers? The Clippers are in the NBA Finals, right? The Clippers. Okay, they'll never make the NBA Finals. Fuck it.
We're talking about people who have titles to defend.
Okay. My bad. So the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl against the Chicago Bears. Should the Green Bay Packers lose a game to the Chicago Bears to make the Chicago Bears feel important enough?
Hell yeah.
The answer is no.
Of course they should.
Because we all know the Chicago Bears are the Veer Mahan of football. They're always being talked about, but they never come.
Hey, you know what? I've been saving this one. I didn't want to have to throw it in your face.
I knew it. I knew it.
But you had to coming. The Chicago Bears will always have one thing that the Green Bay Packers never will.
What's that?
Oh.
William, the Refrigerator Perry.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is also a sergeant in G.I. Joe.
And a WWE Hall of Famer.
That's two things.
Wow.
You don't remember John Cena inducted him?
You know you're not making your case here.
Let's
hear from the newbie.
He's a real American hero.
Look, y'all can Joe this shit all you want, okay? You can G.I. Joe, Greatest American Hero. Sergeant Slaughter is also a WWE Hall of Famer. And he's also a G.I. Joe. And
this is an all football podcast now.
He was all about stuff. Look at this. This is a football podcast now officially.
Well,
I don't know
about football, so
I'm here for wrestling.
Cass doesn't want to get into the football debate with me because I think he's a Chicago Bears fan too, but I don't want to go there with him. So getting back to Raw, really awful Raw.
Wow.
Let's get back to that.
Back to Raw. So our U.S. champion Finn Balor gets pinned in 7 minutes 35 seconds in a non-title matchup. But clean.
Was it though?
It was clean.
So what are your thoughts on this?
I've been a fan of Prince Devitt since 2013, so I'll always be a fan of Mr. Prince Devitt. So, in my opinion, he was great tonight. I really enjoyed the match he had tonight. I really am happy that WWE is now pushing him on Raw a lot more than they did before. And then when he went to NXT, I felt like in a way they don't give him the credit that he actually deserves. I feel as Finn Balor should be the way they push AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
He's on that. He needs to be there.
I will agree with you 100%.
Agreed.
I feel that they were punishing him after he busted his arm and lost the Universal Championship.
And that's not his fault either. You know,
It was just a
accidents
horrible
happen in
accident.
wrestling. And when that happened, it's like he was supposed to be their top guy during that time. And unfortunately, accidents happen in the ring, no matter what it is. But I think this time around, I feel as it's going to show, hey, Finn Balor, like, let me guess, about 2 to 3 years from now, he's going to be back on the top.
Think it's going to be around that long?
That's a
course.
long time. I mean,
if you think about it, it's not technically a long time. I mean, 3 years ago was 2019.
That is true.
It's true.
But okay, so I'll see your 2 years because in 2 years there have been a lot of roster cuts, and he has survived those cuts.
You know how he survived those cuts? He didn't answer his fucking phone.
He's like,
the phone started ringing. He was like, "Shit, it's laryngitis." He put the phone down. Like that was it. They replied to any text messages or nothing. He probably was like, "I'm gonna go hide out in NXT UK so no one gets fired from there."
He probably responded with error 3505. Sorry, wrong number.
The thing is, like, if you're not a Vince creation and you're given a shot and you get hurt, you get pushed like way to the back of the line. Like, I'll never forget when Sami Zayn came out for his match against Cena, and he was
my God.
Yeah.
Pop.
Pop. And Cena was like, oh man,
damn.
hey, good job, man. You did a great match with your busted arm.
He still did a good job against Cena.
Yeah.
But look where he's at now. Okay, he's having the match with Johnny Knoxville. Whatever.
Look where he's at
but
now.
if you really understand,
no, he's in a high profile spot right now.
Exactly, he's building this character that's never been seen before, and he's now elevating to where he was when he was introduced to the WWE when he faced Cena.
Yes.
You know what's really interesting about what you guys were just saying is this: he has taken the Miz's spot. I mean, think about it. Like, yeah, because remember, the Miz was always the one that did everything with the entertainers. He started that whole.
I mean, Miz is still doing it.
Yeah, but it's Logan Paul. It's Logan Paul.
But there's a difference. Like, no matter what you like of Logan Paul, hate or dislike him, at the end of the day, he's part of the influencer community.
No, I get it.
He's
He's a star. He's a star. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. Like, he doesn't have a number one hit movie out right now. He's not like a movie star. He's a social media person. Yeah, don't get me wrong. That's important because the WWE is trying to push the TikTok. They're trying to push the Snapchats. They're trying to push the Instagram things. Like the YouTube channels. They're doing all that. They're trying to hit the social media because they want to get the younger demographic. So they pull in these young people to get the demographic. But then they realize that the people who are Julian and I's age, the ones who are over the age of 30, they're like, oh, we're not getting those people. We're getting like the 65 and 70-year-old people, but we're not getting the 30 to 45 demographic. So let's bring in someone they know. So then they bring in someone from Jackass, and then they get those people back.
They bring in someone from YouTube.
Instead of doing something like, hey, let's put this person with this person, they put him with Sammy. They put the one that was Logan Paul last time. They put him with Sammy the first time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to understand, like, WWE, it's entertainment, like Vince said in the podcast, it's entertainment. So yes, we are watching, wrestling, but at the same time, WWE has been doing this for years. I mean, they brought all these great stars in to start fighting other, wrestlers during WrestleMania, weekend. But at the same time, we're now in the social media era where it's the biggest and hottest thing right now. And I think with WWE, their demographic is obviously kids and to maybe 22-year-olds. It's not what we used to watch. It's different. That's why there is other companies that have other professional wrestling companies where we can watch what we love to watch at the same time. But here, we're all different time.
Yeah.
Justin says, Twitter marks are all up in arms that Cody didn't show up. Look, we all
They
know
are
my
so
stance on
mad.
Cody. We all know my stance on Cody. I'll leave it at that.
Which,
So
speaking of Sami Zayn, Sammy, if you are listening and watching this right now, we want to get you on this podcast to explain your conspiracy theory. So if you want to come on, just message us. Yeah.
I wish you would. I wish you would come through.
We will listen. We're fans of yours, so yes, we believe in the Sami Zayn conspiracy. So please come on the show.
I just want to know one thing. Where the fuck is El Generico?
I'm here. He's
Mexico.
raising orphanage of kids with Bobby Lashley.
I just want to see El Generico one time. I mean, you know,
PWG legend.
Yeah, PWG all day, baby. AWS too. Him and Human Tornado, two skinny white boys. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my boys back in the day. Okay, so this was a great match, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Okay.
Yes.
But the WWE has an issue with storylines and trying to push these storylines 3 weeks before Mania.
Correct.
Because right before the match started, all of a sudden Austin Theory comes and sits at ringside.
Yeah, randomly.
So they can push Theory versus Pat McAfee. So I'm like,
this build-up is weird.
What the fuck is going on?
So I don't know. So I mean, I guess they're going to push McAfee versus Austin Theory, but then you still had Austin Theory attack Finn Balor after this match. So
unless they're gonna do a tag team where it's McAfee and Balor versus Damian Priest and Theory.
Okay, now I thought that might be it. Might be it.
For Julian.
But I had that. I'm not gonna say who it was because I want to put them out there just yet.
Everybody involved.
I don't want to put them out there, but I had someone explain to me that the run sheet for WrestleMania still has Austin Theory in a singles match against Pat McAfee.
I mean, anything could change last minute.
Yeah,
if I were Finn Balor, I'd be pissed.
Yes, as a United States champion, I'd be pissed too.
I agree with that.
And
he needs to defend that title at WrestleMania.
Yeah, come on, that's a rip. That's a rip, totally.
But I will say, this match, if I had to give it a letter grade, I'd give it a B. I'd give it a B minus. The match was
very generous to Raw recently. You okay?
I don't know, man. I think I've been hitting the head too many times, but you know, like I tell people all the time. People always say, "Oh, you guys on Body Slam, you guys are the Roundtable, you guys are always AEW biased." No, if I see bullshit, bullshit on AEW, I will call it out. If I see bullshit in WWE, I call it out.
oh, wait, hold my beer. Because the next match.
Yeah.
Because of the next match.
Wait. Before you go into this, can I just say, thank you, Bruce Pritchard. Thank you, Vince McMahon.
Wow.
Whoever else is in charge of booking this fucking show, because at least we don't get this match at WrestleMania.
You never know.
Please, oh God, please don't. Anissa, let me tell you something.
Anissa, we have a rule on this show. You just can't be blurting out shit. Someone's listening.
Yeah, seriously.
They keep doing shit.
They take our ideas.
You can't say no crazy shit like that.
Yes, because you know what? We've done that. We've said some real outlandish, crazy shit. And then what happens? A week later, we see it on the show, and we're like, someone's really listening.
I mentioned about the kiss cam coming back, and a week later, Los Lozarios had a kiss cam, and I'm just like, what the shit?
Yeah, we did it as a joke too. We were like, "Oh, that'd be kind of cute if the kiss cam came back." Boom, there it was.
And I also said that Shanky might get shanked by Drew McIntyre's sword, and it almost happened.
Yeah,
you never know who's watching.
So exactly. So when we say don't speak it into existence, we mean don't speak it into existence. But Omos, he's so big.
He's so big.
He's so big.
So
versus General Aziz.
Commander Aziz.
Ooh, so big.
So in my opinion, this is a Raw Underground rematch.
It is.
Because you know these guys are not brand new. Let's go with Anissa. What were your thoughts on these two big meaty men slapping meat?
Well, I'm not too familiar with Apollo Cruz's buddy, but I thought this was a great, it's an okay match. I feel like it was a lot of, and it was just in there for the time being. Just, hey, let's just throw this match in there. But at the same time, I'm happy that those wrestlers actually got TV time, because we really want to see different stars every single week. I mean, I do. Because if you see the same stars every single week doing the same thing, it kind of gets boring. But I thought this match was totally fine. It was a quick match for me, but I thought that this was overall a good match.
Julian, I can see you.
So shout out to T-Bar for it not being him. I jokingly said to Shane, the only way this match could have been like worse is if they had a great Khali on commentary and your boy the Pearl River Plunge as referee.
Oh my God! If they would have had him,
I mean, I was like, okay, I mean, all things being equal, this match actually totally made sense.
Yeah.
And why did it make sense?
Because
it made
two
sense
big beefy
because
men.
it made sense because
They're both so big.
neither person was going to either outshine or bury the other person with their technical ability.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it in no longer. You said technical ability. We watched the same match, right?
Dude, so all right. So when Omos suplexed
Falcon Arrow. He did the Falcon Arrow.
The Falcon Arrow.
No. Michael Cole said, "What a suplex!"
Yeah, but
Okay.
the way that
I
Omos
wrote
did it,
that sentence 3 ways. I said, "Did he say what a suplex? What a suplex? Or what a suplex?"
yeah,
Because it started off as a suplex.
yeah.
It
But
didn't end that
was
way.
a suplex.
Oh my
That
God!
could have been a broken neck plex.
Yeah, he almost dropped.
Yeah,
Suplex assassin
yeah.
Alex King
Almost,
would be like,
yeah.
this is some bullshit.
He could have called it the whack hammer if he wanted to. But they were evenly yoked. How about that?
Okay.
They're also very big.
And then Apollo came and he got choke slammed for his
Tree slammed.
efforts just for being there. And that was it.
Shane.
2 minutes.
Hey man,
As much
you know
time
me
as
as two big beefy man. I just gotta enjoy it.
Okay, so let's give this a letter grade. A to F. Julian.
I give it a C.
Oh,
Okay. Anissa.
I'd give it like around a B minus. I'm in between.
Shane.
yeah, same here. B minus because Omos did the deal, which is the Falcon Arrow. So yeah.
I'm gonna give it a solid C, just from the simple fact that he gave the tree slam to fucking Apollo Crews, and Apollo Cruz's accent left his body when he did that. He hit the
What?
ground, hit the
What
ground and
happened
said,
to your
"Fuck."
Nigerian accent?
Oh man,
Where's Triple
he
A
was
bringing
like,
you to that?
"Fuck."
God damn it.
So Liv Morgan and Carmella.
Oh,
Let's talk about that.
they are trying to reach.
No, actually, it was Liv Morgan.
No. Last week it was Liv Morgan and Carmella. So this week is Queen Zelina and Liv Morgan.
Yes.
So why isn't Rhea Ripley involved in any of these matches? But they're going for the tag team championship at Mania.
Because they're focusing on the storyline between Zelina Vega and Carmella. That's what's going on right now, as we see through TV and SmackDown. So I think that the reason why they're doing singles matches between Carmella and Zelina is because to build up a feud between Zelina and Carmella. And I think that feud's going to happen after WrestleMania.
Then why do we do tag team title matches at WrestleMania?
I mean, it's possible.
So your tag team breaks up.
Why not just have a tag team match like this week on Raw or last week on Raw?
No, your tag team has the tag team has to defend the belts at Mania so that they can implode there on stage, and then you have a cat fight, and then that's everyone wants to see Zelina.
I'm sorry. I forgot. John Laurinaitis is back, so we're gonna start having those bra and panties
yeah,
matches again.
right.
Jesus fucking Christ!
I mean, you saw what Carmelo was wearing today, right?
Yes.
Okay, so people want to see the cat fight, and they want to see.
It's like she was wearing an outfit like Tori Wilson used to wear.
Yep.
Can I just put this out here for the world to hear? We support women's wrestling here.
Yes.
Yep.
We bitched and complained about how the WWE was really giving us really shit women's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And now John Laurinaitis is back in power.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know his type of wrestling, what he likes to see.
Mm-hmm.
So the Diva era is about to come back.
Mm.
And it sucks. It sucks because there's so many talented women out there that deserve better than the shit they're gonna get right now. I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with this whole thing. It's fucking ridiculous.
But also remember, this whole match is a mini promo for the Corey Graves Carmella show.
Yeah, dude. Have you watched their show?
No, but I hear they.
No.
What about you, Anissa? Have you watched it?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna fucking be honest. I want to see what the shit was all about.
And you watched it.
Did you also watch Pam and Tommy?
It was the worst 10 minutes of my life. Like, I've had some pretty shitty.
So is it 10 minutes per episode that they have on YouTube?
No. It was just 10 minutes. That's all I could take.
Oh, okay.
So it's more than 10 minutes.
Look, we talk about NXT. And NXT, NXT just got so horny all of a sudden.
Really,
NXT is like wrestling euphoria. Like, that's what it is now. This show is so mindless. Like, I literally was like, okay, that's
that
10
they
minutes
really
of my life I'll never get back.
That they really want to recreate the Edge and Lita thing.
I would really rather sit and watch paint dry and be more entertained than I was watching that show.
Okay. Have you ever watched an episode of Ms. and Mrs.?
Yes.
Yes, I covered the show.
Okay.
I like that show, actually.
But that show I haven't watched the Carmella and what's his name thing.
Don't.
But Ms. and Mrs. has had. I watched a couple of episodes where the staged hilarity was so blatantly staged and ridiculous. Like, there's no people who really interact in this capacity in life. And so it's not even funny anymore. Like, it's just stupid. It's like a camera following me around, and we walk into my kitchen when I come home from work, and we catch my dog making pancakes and my daughter juggling cats, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like, oh, my house is crazy. Track. Like, shit like that just doesn't happen. And so it's like, okay, what's the next step? We have to do something that people have not seen before, or do the next jump of being ridiculous, or do the next, step in being stupid. And for anybody who watched Ren and Stimpy, you knew that there were some episodes where Stimpy was so stupid.
Oh, yeah, he was.
You were like, he couldn't possibly have brain function that allows him to breathe in this episode. Like
that's the first 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah, like Ren would come home and just be like, how could I possibly have left him here unsupervised? He's just that freaking stupid. And then the next episode, he's working a job,
Or in the next episode,
Right.
he made a friend with a fart cloud. Who knows?
Yeah. So I mean, and like Rose to the Top was, I mean, they're all equally bad,
Mm-hmm.
And there's this scripted element where, there's got to be the antagonist, the protagonist. There's got to be some conflict that drives the story forward for the episode, because otherwise they just be showing people like they would just show Cody coming home from a pay-per-view sore, taking painkillers and putting ice on his elbow and on his neck and laying down watching TV, which would to people would be boring. But
That was pretty much it of that show.
yeah, but they need something. So WWE being a reality show that happens to have wrestling at the center of it. That's how it is. It's a reality show about people who happen to be wrestlers. So you have to have the conflict between Zelina and Carmella and Corey Graves have their show to advertise. So, you've got to have the conflict there. And at the end of the day, they're supposed to be also promoting women's match, which only got 2 minutes, 55 seconds.
Yes. Once again, so now that they basically talk about Carmella failing to live up to the partnership with her and Zelina. So of course they're going to break up. It's going to be.
I don't understand why they're doing that now, days before Mania.
Why was Seth Rollins at ringside? Can you explain that?
You mean Austin Theory? But yeah,
just
random.
This whole show was really random. I mean, this whole thing was so random. But the most random thing that I can talk about right now, Twitter is so goddamn toxic. And I say that in a good way. People fucking were so angry because WWE's Raw was in Jacksonville, Florida, the backyard of AEW.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, Vince is a genius. Vince is going to bring fucking Cody Rhodes out in Jacksonville. Now, if Cody had really signed with WWE, this will be the place that Cody debuted. 3 weeks before Mania, everyone's saying it's Cody versus Seth Rollins. That's the match that's going to happen. Seth Rollins came out. He doesn't have a match for Mania now.
Still.
But Cody Rhodes is the one that was quote unquote penciled in to be his opponent at Mania. We have 3 weeks until WrestleMania. Allegedly, yeah. We got 3 weeks until WrestleMania. Have you guys gone to Cody Rhodes' Twitter? Have you looked at Cody's Twitter?
I have not.
Cody is still pushing AEW stuff.
He's not blowing up Mania?
No, he's not.
He's not talking about his friend Seth Rollins or how much he hates AJ Styles?
Mm-mm.
He's not talking about how someone needs to teach Damian Priest a lesson in manners?
Someone had the audacity to say, yeah, in the WWE office, they're not letting Damian Priest do the Crossroads anymore because, Cody's coming back to do the Crossroads.
Well,
can we all just stop for 30 seconds and open our eyes and realize that Cody did not fucking sign with the WWE?
What do you mean, man? He did. He signed a contract to WWE.
Look. It's like this. We all know that when the Hardy Boys returned to the WWE,
oh man, that was great.
They didn't come back until Mania. That
was a
the day of the hours of got in the car.
I knew the day before Mania the Hardys were coming back.
Yeah, because they had dropped the titles the night before or something like that.
Yeah, it was the night before the Supercard of Honor.
Yeah. So that's still kind of the hey, let's have a surprise. Surprises do count.
Well, we all thought the new day was going to be.
If Cody were to, if Seth Rollins were to be in the middle of the ring at Mania and demand his WrestleMania match, and someone needs to come out here right now and face me, you guys are going to be sorely disappointed if you think
that's going to be a Taker moment.
Yeah.
Y'all will be like, oh, here comes Cody. Whoa. You're going to be so mad.
It's Dallas, Texas. It's going to be a Taker moment. I'm guaranteeing that.
It's going to be Veer.
It's not going to be Veer. Look. So,
Shane,
before I get to Anissa, before I ask you your opinion on this, I'm just going to lay it out one more time. Okay, Anissa, let me ask you a question. You work for bodyslam.net. You promote bodyslam.net.
I just started.
Well, okay, but you still promote bodyslam.net stuff, right? You still post that stuff, right? How long has it been since you've not been at AfterBuzz?
Since the pandemic.
Okay, so
Started.
roughly 2.5 years. Let's say 3 years. Just throw a ballpark 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
In that 3 years, have you been tweeting and retweeting and tweeting and retweeting everything that they put out?
No, because they actually switched their dynamic to basically entertainment news. So it's now different. It's not how it used to
Regardless, are you tweeting their stuff?
be. No, I'm not.
Okay, so it's like saying, hey, I work at McDonald's, man, but I used to work at Burger King. So every time I see a fucking sale at Burger King, I'm going to post it on my Twitter. Even though I work at McDonald's, I'm going to post all my Burger King stuff on my Twitter. Same thing. If Cody was not with AEW, or I had no intention of ever going back to AEW or whatever, whatnot, him and Brandy would not be retweeting shit every 30 seconds. They see AEW is going to be in Fargo, North Dakota, retweet. AEW is going to be in Stand Back, Alabama, retweet. They're going to be in Portland, Oregon, retweet.
I wish.
But
come on, Bad Blood. He's working the boys. He's working the boys.
No, he's actually working the fans.
I think, yes, I think Cody. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to say it and leave it alone. Tony Khan is a genius. Cody is a genius. I think Tony Khan was like, "Yo, I know you don't want to fucking come back to AEW because you want it to be in control of the narrative. You want to be the person who wrote the stories. You want to be the person who was running the book. You want to be the booker. You want to be the guy who's running the show. But you got me, and you got the Bucks, and you got Kenny, and you got this guy, and you got that guy." And all of our stories, everything we're trying to do together isn't meshing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and buy a Ring of Honor. And I'm going to run Ring of Honor shows. Because Ring of Honor has several television tapings. And I'm going to go ahead and put someone in charge of running Ring of Honor. Because I can't do it. I'm over here running AEW. I'm running the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm running the friggin' soccer team we have. I can't do all that shit. So here, Cody. Sign a contract with me, and I'll give you creative control of this brand. Brandy's like, yo, I like living here in Georgia. I like the fact that you still own half of the Nightmare Factory. I like the fact that all these young kids that are wrestling at the Nightmare Factory are getting shots on AEW Dark and Dynamite. And now we have a bloated roster. AEW has this bloated roster everybody keeps complaining about.
Yeah.
Not all these people have enough places to wrestle. So hey Cody, how about you take 35 or 40 of these kids and you give them TV spots with established Ring of Honor talent, like John Gresham, like Josh Woods, like the Briscoes. Hey, we can have FTR, who really isn't doing too much here at AEW right now because the tag teams are bloated over here. Let's move them over to Ring of Honor because that suits their type of wrestling style.
Yeah.
Hey, and since Time Warner Media won't let the Briscoes wrestle on TBS or TNT,
let's put them on Sinclair.
Yeah.
Let's put them on fucking USA. I'm just saying. What do you think, Anissa? What do you think?
I think about this whole Cody situation.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that he's actually going to show up at WrestleMania or actually after WrestleMania because, they always bring somebody up after WrestleMania. But I think we're going to really see, I feel like we're going to see Cody in WWE, but I think it's going to be around WrestleMania or after WrestleMania. That's my guess.
Okay.
They're going to do like basically kind of like what Elias did in the ring and then Cena came out. WrestleMania that one year, but I think we're gonna have Seth Rollins just cut a promo, and then we're gonna probably have Cody come down. So, but I think it might be actually at night 1. I don't think it'll be happening at night 2.
I can actually see that.
I will pick Madcap Moss before I pick Cody.
Madcap Moss.
There it is. I second you. I'll say Madcap Moss comes out and beats fucking whoa. I didn't say he was gonna win. I just said he's gonna show up. You ain't gonna burn me twice.
Oh, do you think Seth's gonna cut a promo and then he's gonna show up and then Seth's gonna give him the stomp and then Cody comes out?
Here's the
I
thing.
don't know.
Given Cody's status,
Cody gonna come out of Stardust.
Hey, that works
Can we
too.
not? I don't.
fuck no.
No.
WWE
Written in the
nothing to
stars.
offer Cody Rhodes. The only thing they could offer him is a spot against Roman Reigns, and he'd have to win.
Man, if Cody wins,
And that's a big offer. Or he'd have to beat I mean, it would have to be a top spot. And
So you're saying Seth Rollins not a top guy? Top star?
Oof. Oof.
Ooh.
Oh.
Debate, baby. Let's go.
no,
Hey.
not in this capacity, no. I mean, Cody would need to come in and he would need to be on the way to a title spot. And I don't think that Seth Rollins would be the direction to go through. He'll be bogged down in a feud with Seth Rollins for way too long, because we all know that if you're going to hold a title, you're going to have to go through AJ Styles. You're going to have to go through Randy Orton. And if you're starting off with Seth Rollins, you're not going to see Cody getting a title shot until way past SummerSlam. And it's going to be way too long. I don't think he's going to be in a program I don't think he's going to wait around that long and be in a program that long. I mean, hell, he'd been doing better and working less dates. A, on the indie circuit when he left, and B, when he was with AEW. There's no win for him. Now, for him to come in and work limited dates like Brock Lesnar, yeah, total win. But for him to just come in and let's say squash Seth Rollins, I mean, maybe, but big pop, squash, go home, then what?
I mean, Money in the Bank is not too far after that.
I mean, then what? They're not gonna Vince is not gonna take AEW's top talent and put him over Roman Reigns.
I'm gonna tell you this. Adam Blampier from Wrestle Talk, he does this. He books like these fantasy bookings. Like he'll take this guy. He'll fantasy book it, and he fantasy booked Cody Rhodes' return to WWE.
I need to watch it.
And it's funny you say that because it started with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So, and it went all the way through to him beating Roman Reigns for the championship, him forming an alliance with Charlotte Flair, calling themselves like the Legacies because, Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter, Cody Rhodes. But this is what I see. I see Vince McMahon being petty as shit and saying, hey, I got AEW's executive vice president, the guy who left here and decided to go to create a wrestling organization to rival me.
Yeah.
Because the reason why Cody asked for his release is because Vince told him he'd never be a main event guy. Vince told him he'd never be a main event guy. He wasn't marketable. He wasn't championship material, although you gave him the fucking Intercontinental title and the tag team belt several times. But he wasn't championship material. And that he was too small. He would never amount to anything. So Cody was like, okay, cool. Give me my release. I'm going to go amount to something. And when Cody did that promo in front of the ladders, when he challenged Sammy Guevara, he said
that was great.
He did what CM Punk talked about doing.
Mm-hmm.
He basically shot on the pipe bomb because he was like, yo, CM Punk said he's going to do, he can do this. He would do this. He would do this. Cody went and did it. So now for him to come back to WWE, Vince, and this is just me talking because, Vince probably either would or wouldn't, but I think Vince would be like, yeah, so you're going to come out in polka dots. Are you going to wear
polka dot man?
Your Stardust gimmick again? Because now, Tony Khan, you started a war with me. And you brought this kid in. This kid did this, and this. Now look, he came right back, begging to come right back and work with me. So now
Wow.
I'm going to do what I'm going to do to him, and I'm going to make him Dusty Rhodes Part 2. I could see him doing that. But if I were Cody, the only way I would sign with WWE again, I would legitimately sign with them and say, hey, I will come work in the WWE for 6 months. I don't want millions of dollars. All I want is all the fucking intellectual properties in my dad's. I want to be able to have war games. I want to be able to have Great American Bash. I want to be able to have Bunkhouse Stampede. I want to be able to have Starcade. All of these things. Give me the intellectual properties for all these things, and I'll come back.
Bruh. Nah.
That ain't gonna happen.
Nah. Because that means that every one of those pay-per-views that's streaming, he would get residual rights to.
Just saying, that's the only way I can see Cody going back to WWE in his right frame of mind.
Now here you go. So, assuming that Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar at Mania, if Cody were to come back, you could have him challenge for one of the championships against Roman Reigns and win. And, Roman is always kind of like turning his nose up against the WWE championship. Cody challenges him for that belt and wins. And, now all of a sudden, Roman Reigns has finally been pinned in 900 something days, whatever it is. And Cody is now your main event guy, and he's got a title. He's got a top title, top championship. And yeah, go ahead. Let him feud with Orton. Let him get his revenge for Orton turning on Legacy. Let him go ahead and do his thing with Charlotte Flair and having them be like, Dusty Rhodes' dad, Dusty Rhodes' son and Ric Flair's daughter, running roughshod, and they can pretend to be involved if they want to, whatever.
The problem is the WWE doesn't believe in
history.
Acknowledging history.
Yeah.
So let's go to this next match: Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus the Hurt Business. I love watching Shelton Benjamin. He's a classic. He's an amazing wrestler.
No bad matches.
Yeah, you can't have a bad match with Shelton Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
If you do, you just fucking suck. Because Shelton Benjamin is the gold standard, legit.
Shelton.
Shout out to Liquid Nitrogen. What's up? Shout out to Detonation Kick. No, I'm not going to go to AEW. Let's just address the elephant in the room. I'm selling my shares in BCW worldwide. I am going to continue to wrestle, and I do have plans on retirement this year. This will be 30 years in the business. There's a lot of fucking wear and tear on my body, and this podcast thing right here is what I'm going to be building most off of. So if you like what you hear here, if you like watching these faces, if you like the comic, the comic comedy of this show, you like the in your face, like down to nitty gritty dirt talk about wrestling with no bullshit, no punches being pulled, no drama, no bullshit, then continue to click the likes, click and subscribe on these shows that we do, because I'm telling you right now, man,
and
this
also,
podcast is here to stay.
The most important thing that Julian almost forgot to say is to reunite 3MB.
Shut your damn mouth. That's not going to happen. So with that being said, this show is this match right here, I hate to say it, is another example of 50-50 booking.
Correct.
But wrestling wise, I give it a B. It was good.
Because the Hurt Business won last week.
Yeah, they did.
Due to interference. Yes. So a double 619.
Just stop it.
Yeah, fine. A double 619 on Cedric Alexander, which led to Shelton Benjamin getting knocked to the floor. But okay. So,
same spot from 2 weeks ago.
So, which is crazy. So, Dominic was pointing to the WrestleMania sign, which I don't get. So, are they saying that Rey and Dominic are going to WrestleMania against RK Bro? Are we going to get a triple threat tag team match?
No, they're wrestling Logan Paul and The Miz, remember?
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
That's your celebrity tag match.
Sorry, I forgot.
Can we not have that, please? I don't want to see this. I really don't want to see Logan Paul in a ring trying to sell. I mean, he didn't sell that good today in the ring at all. He missed his 619 spot.
I just think Logan Paul doesn't understand the business with what he was doing, because last week when they were in Cleveland, he looked very confused on what the Miz was saying. Like, hey, like we're getting out of here, and he's like, wait a minute, like, or like, is you really talking crap about Cleveland? Well, so I think that Logan just doesn't really understand the business and behind, how the wrestling industry really works with selling and cutting the promos, and we don't even know if he's actually learning how to wrestle, so it's going to be an interesting match to see, because a lot of people are going to start comparing him to like Bad Bunny, who actually does get in the learned how to freaking wrestle, and he did pretty freaking well.
He did.
So it's good for business entertainment wise, but at the same time, we just don't know if Logan doesn't understand what's going on, because when they did the 619, he really went off to the side of the ring. He wasn't in the middle of the ring, and luckily for Miz, he pulled him out. And I think Miz, being his mentor, is great.
Yes.
Being on his side, because the Miz has that knowledge, can make him become a star in WWE if Logan Paul wants to, but I highly doubt that will happen.
Right.
Well,
if only they had paired the Miz with Ronda Rousey.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
You just want Ronda Rousey to beat up Dominic?
I mean, everyone else does.
I mean, I love intergender. I love intergender wrestling.
I mean, intergender, I say should be allowed in WWE, because most of the women can wrestle better than the guys.
So I'm going to say something that's going to totally shock the shit out of two of the three of you.
What?
Dominic is showing improvement.
Wow.
You know what?
I think he's getting more confident.
I will give you that.
He's getting more confident. He's allowing him to hit each move with more emphasis. Like he's actually doing the moves, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking do this." And the double 619 was actually perfectly timed. Like normally he's the guy. I mean, Dominic is always the guy who screws up the spot. Dominic is.
He's the Kane of him.
Yeah, exactly. He's the guy who does.
I like Kane. I like the character.
A lot of times I thought that he was kind of off because
the frog splash,
because of the size difference between him and his dad.
It's like a legit foot. Okay,
like 2 feet.
Like I thought that he was afraid of being offbeat with his father.
No, I don't think that's
the size difference between the two. Now I will say, when he was doing his frog splashes, earlier in the year, he had some room for improvement. So he's working on that. But yeah, he is getting better. He is looking more confident in what he's doing and just more solid in his ring work.
I think that he is finally getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's finally like, okay, let me slow down. Here's one thing that I always tell young guys in wrestling. This is how you don't get hurt. Slow down.
Correct. And tuck your chin in.
Well, yeah, chin the chest all day. But slow down, because while you're trying to go at fucking 75, 80, someone else is going at 45, 50, trying to make it work, trying to make it look good. Slow down. Yep. There's a reason why I have a hairline fracture on my foot. And it's from a wrestling match from a few weeks ago. I kept telling the kid, slow down. But when you're in the ring, you get excited. You're like, oh yeah, there's so many people here for me. And you get excited and you're not paying attention to what you're doing. And then when you go for a spot and then you fuck that spot up, you want to go back to do that spot again. You can't do that all the time.
Correct.
So I think Dominic is finally starting to understand that, okay, if I screw this up, I got to go to the next thing. Don't go back and sit there and wait for this. Don't go back there and try to do this again, because I'm gonna look stupid and I'm gonna hurt someone trying to do it.
Correct.
So I'm glad that he's finally starting to realize this and he's starting to see it. So, maybe he's getting better. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's becoming great. He's not a fucking Summer Rae or anything like that, but
The living legend Summer Rae.
That will never get old. So with that being said, let's go to a quick commercial break and then we'll get into the D-Drop versus Bianca Belair match.
Oh,
who?
You will not skip over Queen Charmel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Here's my thing. If you're gonna get put into the WWE Hall of Fame, fucking do something to earn the fact that you're in the Hall of Fame.
She made King Booker.
She taught us to hail King Booker.
Booker.
She was a Nitro girl.
Booker.
What the fuck does that got to do to put her in Hall of Fame? Because
But she was also
Kimberly
a
Page-
manager.
Oh,
But she was also a manager. So how come it's okay for other managers in wrestling get to be in the Hall of Fame that are male,
Yeah.
but women it's different?
Oh, I think Miss Elizabeth should have been in the Hall of Fame way before Queen Charmel.
No, but I think Queen Charmel, it's time to get her flowers. It's been a
Yeah.
long damn time.
Yeah.
Mm.
She made King Booker.
She made King Booker.
Come on, those stuff in the early 2000s, those were great
The
segments
06
for
era
SmackDown.
of SmackDown. Yeah, the 06 era of SmackDown was really good because of King Booker.
Not only that, but like she really elevated with what women can do as a manager. And I think that she really just showed this different character that no one at the time was doing, because she is a former pageant girl or queen and nobody wasn't doing it at the time. And I think she elevated to what she was doing during her early days and made it into a character.
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, why not? Why can't every single woman? Because at the end of the day, every single woman that worked their ass off went to WWE. I think they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care who you are. You went into the ring, you did what you did, you were on TV, and you made storylines. Why not? Why not? I mean, there's Celebrity Wing Hall of Fame. Why do they get to be in it?
Yeah,
I love the fact that she is so passionate about this. That's the reason why I said it. I think Charmel deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I just want to see what you guys are going to say about it. So I fucking love the debate. I love the debate.
Throwing hands.
I love the debate. Anyway, we'll be right back with more of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, cause they're taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, cause they're taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules...
When you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your haircut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
And we are back. And I just got to say, look, you were the newbie on the podcast here today. So I really want to just to see how passionate you were about this whole industry. Man, oh man, you showed me.
I've been watching wrestling since I was about 4. So, especially of course I'm a girl. I love women's wrestling. So especially during that era. You know, I grew up on that era.
I'm glad to have you on the show. You held your own. I like it. I like it. And speaking of holding your own, this stream has been brought to you by Blue Chew and their newest product, Pink Chew. So, Shane, tell us about the Blue Chew and the Pink Chew.
What?
Shane, should I go ahead and should I help you out? You want me to help you out, Shane? Here, Shane. Let's make it easier for Shane. Make it easier for Shane. It's that time, Shane. It's the 9 o'clock hour.
You're muted, Shane.
And you are muted. Once again, Shane kayfabing us all. Shane's an idiot.
He's talking to Veer.
Shane's an idiot, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get to the next matchup. Piper Niven. We don't call her Dewdrop on this show.
Yes, Piper Niven.
Piper Niven versus Bianca Belair. And what must be the 225,575th time they face each other on Raw?
Hey, man.
Can I say this about this match? Why is it every freaking time they go one-on-one that the commentators say, act like Bianca never lifted up Piper Niven? They act like it never freaking happens, but it does.
You know,
so this is what happens on Raw. Bianca Belair's in the back. She goes, "Hello, Usos? Yeah, I'm getting ready to wrestle Piper Niven again. Fuck you and the New Day." Click.
Not the New Day.
And they go out there because she's like, "I got to beat their record." And
she should be saying it to Naomi and fucking Natalia then.
Oh yeah, Naomi and Natalia.
No. She ain't gonna beat that.
No, she ain't.
She gonna
wait. Let's ask Anissa a question real quick. You said you've been watching wrestling for a long time.
Yes.
Can you tell me what record does Natalia hold?
Which records?
Which records does she hold? You know, Guinness Book of World Records. And what's the most important record that she holds?
She's been on WWE for 6, 7. So like being on like most matches on.
She was like born in the back.
No, Raw. One of those. Hey, I don't remember everything, but.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, Natalia holds a record, and this record is. It's a very interesting record.
We sat and logically figured this out one day when she came out with the Guinness World Book of Records.
Which I didn't even know it was a thing. Still,
she stated that she holds the Guinness World Book of Records for the most
consecutive losses to one person.
No, she said she holds the Guinness World Book of Records for the most matches in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And so we sat here and said, hey, if she's had the most matches in WWE for a woman, I think it's for a woman.
Yeah, for a woman, yeah.
For a woman.
Because The Miz has the most, like 1,862.
Yeah. We figured, well, based on 50-50 booking, all things being equal, then she must have had the most losses also. And sure as shit, we started looking it up and we find out, yes, she's had the most losses of any woman in WWE. But then we found out who she had the most losses to.
Naomi.
And you're thinking, but Naomi hasn't been around that long.
Oh, but she has.
Look. When you lost 793 matches over the course of your career, and they've all been to Naomi, that's pretty fucking bad, right?
But
it just means Naomi's that good.
Yeah.
She's so good that she doesn't get a push.
I love Naomi. She's wonderful.
Well, she should get a push over somebody.
She should get a push. But yeah, I just thought that was
she's the one who deserves her flowers as well.
Yes.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Do you know who has the least losses in the WWE? In 2021, AJ Styles has only lost 28 matches.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he's barely on TV.
How many has he wrestled?
No, these include house shows. These include
Oh,
pay per view.
That,
He's only lost 28
yeah.
matches.
So Anissa,
oh, okay. I thought you meant TV.
that's a big caveat. Whenever
Yeah,
WWE says somebody is undefeated, that means undefeated in televised matches. They
Happy
could have
Corbin.
lost every house show match
Yeah.
between TV shows, but like as long as you don't lose on TV, that's all that matters.
Hmm.
Just like with Ronda Rousey's like, I want to be the first person to tap out Charlotte Flair.
Man.
Do you not watch the network? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Everybody was posting.
We find it funny here that we always find the the discrepancies and all this bullshit that they say. Like, she's undefeated. Yeah, she's undefeated except for the 4 times she lost here and that she lost on this show. And she lost on main event too. Veer Mahan is still coming to Raw. Yeah, but he's been on main event for fucking 6 months.
Undefeated right now.
Correct.
And then he's on main event. So
Yeah.
That's correct.
Exactly. But before we get to the Doudrop, I'm sorry, Piper Niven versus Bianca match. Let's get to that weird Grandpa Logan promo we had tonight. Old Man Logan promo. Because Edge came out with his new theme. And
My
the
Alter
blue
Bridge.
light. I don't understand what the blue light's all about. Like,
You think you know him?
apparently I don't know him because
You think you know him?
he's the benchmark. And he's trying so hard to be a heel now. But you know how like when you're a bad guy and people know you're a bad guy? Like when I can tell a kid, shut your goddamn mouth before I become your stepfather. That's like, or you know what? It may have been the greatest night of your life, but for me, it was just another Sunday. Stuff like that. Like those are great heel things. But he's like, I'm the benchmark and I'm better than you and you know it. I'm sorry. When did you become MJF?
Yeah.
The promo was really lackluster. I mean, it kind of like, he insulted the fans and, the same little blue light promo. And, he's trying so hard
I
to be
think
a
they're
heel.
just like trying to switch it up with the new theme because I saw a comment on Twitter that it's very hard to like boo Edge with the babyface Alter Bridge theme song.
Mhm.
But if he comes out with the more darker Alter Bridge, darker song, that people are actually going to boo him, because everyone will cheer for the On This Day, that one, but they won't cheer for the newest one that they have play over here.
Play your old music.
I understand that. I totally get it. Like I get like sometimes music does like set the tone. I get that. But his interview, the way he came out and did the interview, he basically did a You People interview.
Yes, correct.
And he's like, I tore my arm, my bicep wrestling Randy Orton, You People. And I'm like, so you're blaming this on us? Like that. So, I mean, that seems to be the standard, like in lazy ass promos these days. I mean, you want to elicit the emotion from fans. Well, that right there is not a way to do it.
AJ Styles will be judged.
I have a little nitpick what I just said. So people get angry when freaking CM Punk changed his music.
I was waiting for that.
But they're like, oh yeah, Ed changed his music. It's okay. Like,
well, there's a difference between CM Punk's changing his music. That's history. That's Ring of Honor history.
Ring of Honor history.
That in my quick story, that's the reason why I discovered independent wrestling because of CM Punk. I didn't know what independent wrestling was until I saw CM Punk on ECW saying, I don't smoke, I don't drink. I'm like, who's this guy? So I went on Ask Jeeves, who's CM Punk? And all this stuff from Ring of Honor came out. So there's a difference between that and what Edge is doing. In the beginning, when I first saw Edge, I thought he was going back to 99 Edge with that style.
The rated R superstar.
Rated R.
You thought he was like sitting in the alley with some shades on and a trench coat?
Yeah, but this is different. And I think this is something that we've never seen. Obviously, we've never seen from Edge. And I think this is just a new type of way and a type of character that maybe he's always wanted to try but never got the chance to do it because he was always
Right.
known as the rated R superstar.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. It's okay. So Edge calls himself the ultimate opportunist. It's opportunistic because just a couple weeks ago, he and his wife were the grit couple
Yeah. Seriously.
facing Miz and Maurice, and they were baby faces. And so all of a sudden, he comes out on Raw one day and decides that he's angry because he wants a WrestleMania match. So I'm going to be a heel now, just to challenge AJ Styles and force myself. That's the problem. So we're going into WrestleMania, and people are forcing themselves into WrestleMania matches, and making themselves heels or making themselves have these matches with no real storyline behind it. And I always throw this back to Chris Jericho spilling coffee on Kane in the back
Yeah.
one night on Raw to get a match. And it's I want a WrestleMania match. I'm angry. I'm gonna pick on AJ. I'm angry. I'm a heel.
Well,
And
Edge
whatever.
also wanted to face AJ for like a very long time, and I guess this was the whole new gimmick that he wanted to try with AJ, just like how Taker tried the new Boneyard gimmick with AJ of that WrestleMania.
Hey,
But the
that brought me
difference is-
back to
But that worked
yeah.
really well.
It
Yeah,
did.
but the difference with that is it was something he wanted to do, and they made it work. This gimmick to me is not working.
Well,
Like
here's
this
the
gimmick
thing.
is making me not give a shit about this match.
Well, here's the thing. It'll work for the Mania match, but then what?
Exactly.
What is he gonna do
Back to
afterwards?
he goes back to being regular Edge, and he comes out to on this day. I mean, and then what?
I do want to see Edge when he was the heel in 2006, 7,
That was
8.
the Edge. Yes,
that was the heel Edge. As when I was a teenager,
yeah.
I despise Edge
I despise him
because
too.
I did not like him at all when I was that age because he made me feel that he made me feel a way where I just was like, damn, I don't like this guy. And
I
it's
don't
been
like
a
this
long
guy.
time since a heel like that made me despise somebody.
He
And
actually
I
took
just
Matt
think
Hardy's
that
girlfriend. How dare you?
we really hope that we really get to see that Edge in the next couple weeks before WrestleMania, because right now it's different, but I still want to feel like, damn, make me feel like I'm 14 again and I just hate you.
Right.
But we're not going to get that, and that's the problem. That's the problem that I'm having with it. Like I really liked the whole rated R Edge. I love that gimmick.
Rated R.
I love that gimmick. That gimmick was so fucking over. I loved it.
The man
It's
that
just
cost Kofi Kingston the spot in that Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
Like
That
that
was
is.
good. That was great.
And
Well,
now
the
it's
feud
just
he
like,
had with Cena, like those were good times.
Where he
that
slapped
was
Cena's
heel Edge.
father in the
And
face.
then he had, and then he was a horrible heel when he teamed up with Randy and hit Ric Flair in the head multiple times with the chair. That's what I would love to see.
The
again.
man who busted up Ric Flair and gave Ric Flair a concerto. That Edge.
Yeah. I see you.
that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really and truly want to see that. I really do. So, I mean, with that being said, let's just hope for the best. So going back to Piper Niven versus Bianca Belair. Piper Niven came out with fucking Nikki ASH, almost a superhero Nikki Ash.
Homelander. Mrs. Homelander.
Mrs. Homelander.
Yeah.
Can you imagine her and Cody together?
Oh my God.
Homelander and what was the Stormfront? Yeah. So they endorsed Becky Lynch as like they are fully heel. And one thing that you don't ever get in the WWE is the heels hang out with the heels. And I think that they don't know what to do with Piper Niven now. for the
It
Skyward
really
tag
angered me.
team with Nikki Ash. What are your thoughts, Julian? I see the wheels turning.
So it's really funny where you have Nikki. You've kind of recycled your alliances here. So earlier on, we had Liv Morgan come out with
Rhea Ripley.
say it again.
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley, and now Nikki Ash has aligned herself with Piper Niven, and now you have coming out against Bianca Belair, and then you also have Becky Two Belts sitting at ringside, and so Nikki's
No, she was actually under the ring.
So so Nikki's
Her
kind
gold
of
outfit.
making her rounds, almost, and Piper wrestled a little bit of a smarter match this time around against Bianca than she has in the past. Doing some actual power moves and whatnot. And when Bianca tried to pick her for the KOD, she powered out of it, which was great. I'm happy to see that people are now using Bianca's hair against her better than they have in the past.
Right.
The whole chair to the throat thing was great. It reminds me of the whole, Macho Man taking the belt to the throat on Ricky Steamboat. That was always a classic. But if Becky were to put together like a group of heels to help defend her, to help her keep her belt, I mean, that'd be even better also. Going this close into Mania, I don't know what they're going to do with all these people who don't have a match yet. I don't know if they're going to do a women's battle royal, or if they're going to just have them at ringside. I mean, it would be better to do something with them. But it does definitely, hype up the match for Becky Lynch and Bianca at the same time. Put some heat on it.
I agree. I really am very excited to see these two go head to head. I'm rooting for Bianca Belair. I really want her to become women's champion. I think she deserves it. I think she's freaking great in the ring. She's probably one of the best athletic women on WWE television right now. I honestly think she's better than Charlotte. But right now, I think with her storyline with Becky Lynch, I think those two are going to freaking kill it. And I really, really hope they are main eventing Mania Night 1.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show before. I hope they're main eventing, and I hope it's not going to be Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair.
You'll be surprised of people that actually want to have Charlotte and Ronda main eventing, which I don't know why.
No.
But obviously it should be Bianca and Becky main eventing night 1.
So
And
Becky attacking Bianca and doing the chair spot on the throat and whipping her into the ring post by her hair. Look real brutal. I mean, freaking A, look brutal.
Yes.
Man. Until the chair hit the ring post and the chair flipped off of her head, and you can see that there was no danger to it. That's just Kevin Dunn.
She sold it well.
Yeah, she sold it.
She sold it.
She sold it so good that Kevin Dunn's camera work almost ruined it. Because Kevin Dunn, Mr. 500 camera cuts, he cut to where the chair went off her head, and she smiled. And the camera cut back to the chair on the ground, and then the camera cut to her, and she was holding her throat. And I'm like,
she wasn't smiling; she was wincing in pain.
Sure. But then we go from Bianca to her husband, Montez Ford, facing Matt Riddle.
Man. Which Randy Orton is finally embracing the RK Bro.
Randy Orton is having so much fun.
He said, "My homeboy." Randy Orton never says homeboy.
He was like, "I've always main evented WrestleMania by myself, but now I have a friend." And I was like, "Whoa!"
He said a friend.
He's turning on Riddle. He's turning on Riddle. His
man, this
happen.
is just
I think so too.
It's gonna happen finally.
It's gonna be like Eddie and Ray going into WrestleMania fighting as a tag team champion, but then there doesn't need to be no breakup. They should just do what Eddie and Ray did.
This is like whenever Hogan would be like, "I'm here with my best buddy, brother," or whoever. And you're like, "Oh, you gonna turn on soon."
Mm-hmm. So
I think that this is going to be a phenomenal. Whoever they're facing the Street Profits at WrestleMania, or they don't really have.
And it looks like Gable and Chad Gable and Otis.
Thank you.
So it's going to be a 3. It's going to be a 3-minute tag match. But I think Randy's going to. I think they're going to lose at WrestleMania, and Randy's going to turn heel again, and go. And him and Riddle are going to have a storyline.
And he's going to.
I think it's going to happen before Mania.
I don't know. Maybe it's going to be Riddle turns on Randy.
No, that guy's too. He's on a different level of.
His head is too in the clouds. If
yeah, there you go.
I fucking hate Riddle.
By the way, did you guys see that sick Vader combo and moonsault combo that?
Yes.
That Gable and Otis did. That was a magnificent tag team finisher combo, and I loved it.
I mean, we finally got some real tag teams going. I mean, wow,
right?
Some real tag teams.
Thank
Look
you.
at this shit. But
thank you.
RK Bro,
winner by disqualification.
I can't wait for them to turn it, because this is going to likely lead to the Street Profits versus the Alpha Academy versus RK Bro at WrestleMania. Another triple threat for the tag team titles would be good, but was it just me, or did the Street Profits kind of come off heelish?
That's what I said.
Street Profits came off heelish a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
I mean, like they really came off heelish tonight.
They did.
Well, no, because Randy Orton was fine.
I mean, I'm a heel, so I know heelish, but I'm just saying they came off with really sarcastically heel-like, and I loved it. Like
if they win the tag team titles, I could definitely see them really doing heel stuff with it.
Someone's turning that Mania.
You know what I want to see? I want to see the Bloodline, but I want to see the Bloodline on Raw. Meaning, I want to see I want to see the Street Profits as the tag team champions and her as the women's champion. And I want them to run. I want them to run roughshod like this, like the Bloodline is on SmackDown. Can you imagine that?
Yes, that'd be great.
Bloodline and Naomi versus Street Profits and Bianca.
Boom! There it is.
There
it is.
Finally, let Bianca and Naomi actually fight the men. And they will pull out a good match with them in intergender.
When is Night of Champions? Towards Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You mean Survivor Series?
No.
Or just before, or just after?
Are you talking about like what pay-per-view is after Mania?
The pay-per-view of Night of Champions.
Oh, WrestleMania wrap up or rewind or whatever. That's gonna be the next show.
Yeah.
No, the next one is gonna be Money in the Bank in July.
That's July. Yeah.
In Las Vegas.
Nevada.
Oh, that's right. At T-Mobile. That's right.
Arena.
So let me get to the main event or the main segment of the night. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. The winner gets to face Steve Austin at WrestleMania in a
talk show host. And a talk show host match.
In the talk show segment.
I will say Seth Rollins has one of the best suicide dives in all of wrestling.
Does anybody remember rapping with Rollins or the Rollins wrap up or
the Rollins wrap up?
The Rollins report.
I don't know. The Rollins report was like NXT or
no. That was when he was doing it as a face of Seth Rollins. Like, he was a huge baby face at the time. That was when the fans were starting to churn on Rollins, and he was doing the Rollins report every week.
That I don't remember at all.
Well, Kevin Owens is really like the best guy to talk shit during a match.
Yeah.
Like he'll be in the middle of a match and look at someone and talk shit to them. So he's so fucking over, dude. And everything he says is like hella funny. I mean, this Kevin Owens is Kevin Steen from PWG.
Yeah.
That's what this Kevin Owens is. And that's what I've been waiting for. This is Kevin Steen from PWG right here.
I thought it was funny when he said, "I'm going to start my old branded milk." I'm like, did she talk to
Um,
Kurt Angle about being a partnership with that, or
Right? That's what I thought right away.
right?
Bring in the
Owens,
milk truck.
Oh my God, yes.
Owens keeps. I mean, Kevin Owens is getting funnier and funnier and funnier every fucking match.
People who say that Kevin Owens does not have a personality right now, you're blind. You're so blind.
Crazy. And Twitter,
Yeah.
Twitter is so toxic. They're basically this match was supposed to be WrestleMania. This was like what was penciled in 3 months ago.
Wow.
Yes.
That was WrestleMania. Owens versus Rollins at WrestleMania. But then like that tag team they put together and the whole gimmick just went over so well.
It was, and then they're already breaking up, and it hurts.
I mean, look, they got a sick ass finisher, the buckle bomb to the fucking
Stunner,
curb stomp, the buckle bomb to the stunner to the curb stomp, dude.
Yeah,
That's
that's
money.
the combo.
But man, when these guys lost last week,
They were dead.
the whole sequence of them losing was so fluid. It was so good. And to watch the heels get robbed of their victory and them to be like, wait,
Look on Kevin Owens' face. Was like, oh my
we're the
God.
bad guys.
Yeah.
We're used to robbing people of their victories.
Yeah, why are
We got robbed. We're not going to Mania. What the fuck happened?
We
And the way he
usually do
looked,
that.
like Kevin
And the
Owens
look
looked
on the-
so dejected, dude. Like he
The
was
look on
about
the
to
faces
cry.
were just like, what just happened? Like we lost in our own game.
Yeah, and it was
And
Riddle who did it.
I was
He
there
did it.
for
He
it.
looked
I was
like
there for it
Riddle
100%.
did.
Nisa, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm more of a KO fan. I'm not a Tyler Black fan, but I'm a Kevin Steen fan, and I think Kevin really
He's awesome.
deserves this because you have to look at Kevin's story. He learned English because he watched Monday Night Raw in the 90s. Like Austin was somebody he looked up to, I'm assuming, and like most of us probably enjoyed watching Austin on TV in the 90s. But it makes sense for Kevin to have this with Austin because there's a story there. There's no story with Seth Rollins.
I agree with that. I
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Yeah,
And honestly, like, even if Austin can't wrestle, I mean, knock on wood. Let's just say Austin gets in the ring and he does a match. I would rather him do it with Kevin Owens, who's going to be safe with him, instead of doing it with friggin' Seth Rollins, who will want to buckle bomb him and shit. And we can't have a Sting. We can't have a Sting incident. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, let's talk about Austin wrestling. It's going to be punches. It's going to be kicks. It'll be a Luthez press.
Luthez.
And it'll be stunners. That's about it. He'll ride to the ring on a quad, a quad runner.
A quad runner.
I mean, it's not going to be you're not going to get suplexes and enziguris and top rope planchas or pescados.
No poison ranas.
Yeah, you're not going to do none of that.
Dude, imagine if Austin did a poison Rana. I would flip out.
I mean, we haven't seen that stuff from Austin since the Hollywood Blonde days.
We didn't see it then.
And yeah,
none of those
we didn't
moves
see that.
existed.
So we're not going to get it now. So it'll be just brawling. It's not going to be anything too technical. Stunners, punches, kicks.
You mean no Canadian Destroyers by Austin? Damn.
Yeah, I'm going to say
now
no.
the real question is this going to be night 1 or night 2?
This is
I
night
think
1.
it'd be night. I think it'd be night 2.
They already said it was night 1.
They said night 1 main event.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Main event segment or main event match?
Main event segment. They met.
Okay, so if that's night 1, that means Taker is going to be night 2.
Yeah.
Because they
You're
always
right.
do something with the Hall of Fame guy at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So Taker's been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Taker's going to come out and he's going to fucking choke slam Seth Rollins. He's going to pull a what's the quarterback that just retired and unretired?
Yeah, again.
He's going to pull a Brady.
Tom Brady.
I thought you were saying Pete Rose. That's Kane. That's Kane's job.
Yeah, Kane ain't choke slamming the chicken. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I don't want to see Steve Austin. Like I know. Don't at me on fucking at me on Twitter. I don't care.
You say that every time. First
I
you say,
know,
"Don't
I
have me
know,
on
but
Twitter."
I don't care. At me on Twitter. I'm all about that life. I do not want to see Steve Austin wrestling.
Wow. You mean you don't want to see Austin trying to do a Canadian destroyer? What's
I don't
wrong
want
with
to see
you?
Austin wrestling for the simple fact that I don't want to see him get hurt.
Okay, you don't want to see Austin wrestle as in ding ding, ring the bell.
I don't want to see Austin take a
Somebody-
bump. I don't want to see
somebody
Austin get hit with a
pin someone.
chair. I don't want to see Austin slip on a banana peel. I don't want to see Austin choke on a chicken bone. I don't want to see Austin do anything that's going to be detrimental to him not walking tomorrow.
Ve-
But we don't even know if he's actually training right now.
That is true.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true.
He is keeping that
You know,
private.
what if WWE sent him a whole damn ring and said, "Hey, we're gonna fly in
You might-
somebody to go, work with you." We don't know.
I thought he already has a back, like
Yeah,
a
well, we have
backyard
a
ring
ring
of his
already.
own. Yeah,
Well, whatever. He's training. He might be training.
yeah.
That's
It'll
the
do that
point.
spread on the Invisible Man.
It just after seeing like Big E get his neck broken and Scott Hall dying today and
What a horrible
you know,
week for
just
wrestling
me
fans
being
on
a
that.
just me being a wrestler on this podcast, knowing the dangers of taking a bump the wrong way, especially when you're hurt and you're hurting so much.
And so let's talk about, especially we're talking about a guy who is the poster child for taking a bump the wrong way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that worries me. You know what I mean? Like that. I don't want to see. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was when the glass break, that's your ass. I was a Steve Austin guy myself, but
I was more of the Rock guy.
do I want to see Steve Austin take a bump and that'd be it? Sorry, I couldn't back the Rock when the Rock's finisher was a fucking elbow.
The people's elbow. Get it right.
I'm one of the people, and I wouldn't sell that shit. Anyway, the point I'm making is I just don't want to see him get hurt. And while wrestling fans, and I'm going to say this with the most kindest, gentlest way possible, you guys are fucking crazy.
Well, that wasn't very so gentle.
Because you guys don't understand the physical toll we put on our bodies week after week after week.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been wrestling with a hairline fracture on my foot for the last month. I wrestled 6 months with a broken heel, and I just taped it up. Separated shoulders, all these injuries I've suffered over the course of 30 years, And don't get me wrong, wrestling's a drug. Any wrestler that you ask any wrestler, they'll tell you this is a drug. They need it. We crave it. It's like we treat our body like an amusement park ride all the time. But the point I'm making is when you have a serious injury, one that almost prevented you from walking. Like, can you imagine that?
But you also need to realize Austin is coming to the ring in Texas.
What?
I don't give a shit.
That pop that he's going to get.
He's going to get the loudest pop of the night.
Is going to be monstrous. And
the only thing?
It is going to be all the Oxycontin, Adderall that you can fit into the biggest syringe you can find. And he would feel it afterwards.
I wouldn't take a turn for the worse.
But it'll charge him up. He'll be to him. It'll be 2000 all over again. And he'll be there for the fans. He'll be there for the electricity. He'll be there for the pop and just the ego, just how it feels. And he'll be there for the charge. And KO too, he'll be there by proxy. he'll be there for it. But does Austin need to be in a referee check my boots, ring the bell, cover count to 3 match? No. I mean, he's done the beer bath, stunners. He's gotten the same pop just by kicking Vince McMahon in the nuts and getting hauled up by police.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they can do the talk show segment and get the same result. They can get from A to B that you would do in a match by doing a talk show segment. I mean, take the Morton Downey Jr. segment with Piper, and just don't let it drag on as long. And you throw in some stunners, you throw in some beers, you give the fans what they want, and there you go.
True.
But we've seen so many wrestlers come back with injuries
Mhm.
that we never even thought that they can even come back. And I understand like Austin is like in his 60s, but I still think that he can still like have one more match. And if that happens, that's great. If it doesn't, it's great. At the end of the day, we are being not spoiled, but we are having a treat to see Stone Cold Steve Austin do something.
Definitely.
But I really, really would like to see Austin have a match one more time. But I think him going with Kevin Owens is a safe bet.
Yeah.
Out of all those wrestlers, I think Kevin is safer because Kevin is a bigger guy, but he wrestles differently. He doesn't really do the high spots like most of the wrestlers do. He'll do it a little bit here and there. But I just think that it's safe to have KO have that match with Austin.
They're not putting him in with Omos.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. All right, so I can see this happening. I can see it happening. I don't want to see it happening because that's just me. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. But I get what you guys are saying. I totally understand. So with that being said,
that Vince will finally put on his glasses and realize he's been talking to the wrong Austin this whole time.
Yeah. Damn you, Austin Theory. Hit me with the bedpan. Come here,
Shane, you've been saying this for months now.
Yeah.
And it's liable to happen.
I would fucking, dude, I would die laughing if that was the payoff. If that was the payoff, it would be genius. It would be hilarious.
And that will be 100% proof that they are watching our podcast.
Yeah, that would just be that would be off the chain.
Before we get out of here, I want to say two things. One, shout out to Kerry Silkin for his induction into the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. I sent him a text this morning, and he was like, "Thank you, brother." So, thank you, Kerry, for all you've done in Ring of Honor and for all you're going to do, because I'm pretty sure you will still be an ambassador for Ring of Honor.
Correct.
And in the words of Scott Hall, hard work pays off, dreams come true. Bad times don't last long, but bad guys do.
Hey, yo.
Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. So, Julian, you want to tell the amazing people here that watches week after week after week after week?
People still have cable?
Well, yeah. The ones that still have cable, the ones that watch us on all these great channels. Will you tell them where they can reach us and they can watch us?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to watch us on YouTube, you don't want to download the podcast, you don't watch us on Twitter, you don't watch us on Facebook, I highly recommend you do, because you're going to get a very entertaining show, and you should at least stop off on Twitter and wish Big E a get well soon and get well speedy recovery. Send him your well wishes. He's a positive guy. He's one of the most positive people you will ever see online or meet in person. But it does not mean that he does not need your well wishes and your prayers. That being said, you will always hear us give him our well wishes, whether it's online or 3 times a week. And that could be on Mondays at 10 p.m. on channel 22 Xfinity TV and channel 8002 CenturyLink TV, or Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. on channel 23 Xfinity TV and channel 8003 CenturyLink TV, or on Wednesdays on 9:30 p.m. and channel 11 Xfinity TV and CenturyLink TV in the Portland, Oregon area.
Wow. When you're driving in your car and you're like, damn, these guys are funny, but I can't be watching them because it's like watching videos in your car. I mean, I sometimes do, but that's just me. You can always check us out on Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, and you know what? For the lovers out there, iHeartRadio.
And OnlyBarbers.com.
Everywhere.
And Podcast Addict.
Man, just go click, and subscribe on all that shit. So, Miss Barr, I understand you're trying to get to 5,000 followers before summertime on Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this podcast or you're listening to us on Twitter right now, go click, and subscribe on her page.
Yeah.
Tell them where they can find you on all your socials.
You could find me on Twitter and Instagram at my name, Anissa Barr. Don't follow me on Facebook because I will decline your request.
Declined.
Because I don't know
Wow.
you.
I don't want your friends.
Ooh, she's like, I'm trying to get in my DMs. Declined.
Yeah, that's my goal. 5,000
Yeah.
followers by summer, and if after that, it's gonna by December 10,000 followers.
Got the friends.
Man,
Wow.
she is. Look, hey, she's all about that life, man. So what if Shane? What if Mr. Shane Husky right here? Shane's a Twitch affiliate. He's like a star on Twitch. What if he tried to jump in your DMs like, "Hey, friend, let's be friends"? What would you tell him?
Well, we are friends.
There it
Yeah.
is, Shane. Shane has a
All
new
right.
friend, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. I love it. Shane, tell those
Yeah.
amazing people where they can find you every week.
Well, you can find me on Twitch at Husky_518. If you want to know why it's called Husky_518, I will tell that story on the Twitch channel. And you can find me on YouTube where I will be doing a new call show on Twitch and YouTube for a new Ethan that'll be coming out pretty soon. I'm really excited to do that.
Man, and
You the
Julian.
man, Shane.
Let the
And
people
Julian,
know,
where they
Julian.
can find you?
See my name?
Yeah, right there.
You can find me at Chemical Julian on Instagram and on Twitter.
Wow. All right. And you can find me Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all those cool places like that under the Bad Blood brand. That is the THEBADDBLODD Bad Blood brand. Okay. You can find me there. You can find us here. Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night. Sometimes you can find me on Tuesday. It's here on BySam.net. It's also,
Copyright.
Sometimes.
doing the AW NXT show sometimes. Yeah. Or
No,
you
you
can find us.
get energized. Be like, we're doing the AEW podcast on Wednesdays.
Hold on. We get excited for AEW on
No, we get
Wednesdays.
excited for AEW.
You know what day that means? Real Wrestling Wednesday, baby. AEW Dynamite. You can also find us on Friday. We watch AEW Rampage and SmackDown too. But we watch
SmackDown.
that too.
SmackDown.
And Julian and I have been tossing around a bit about doing a Impact Wrestling show.
Because it's a good show. It's actually a good show.
Yeah.
Some people don't
Are
watch
we going to
Impact
start
Wrestling.
doing that now? On
I've
Thursday?
been thinking about it.
Chris Bay forever.
Chris
Let's- you know what?
Wait.
Chris Bay.
Let's talk to let me talk to Cass and see about throwing a little Impact Wrestling on for the people. What do you guys think? You guys want to do an Impact Wrestling show?
It might be a thing.
Yeah.
It might be a thing.
We need an overlay for Impact. That's what
I mean, we got a Ring of Honor show here on
Hey,
BySam.net.
April 1st of wrestling on Saturday is stacked of wrestling.
Dude, look, I'm wrestling in Arkansas, so we're gonna have to do the Royal Rumble. We're gonna have to do the WrestleMania show, me live on
In the ring.
location. No, please
In
God,
the
not
ring.
that. Live on location. I will be at YWA's Bad Blood. Pretty cool. They made a show after me. It's pretty awesome. Defending the
I see what you
OIWA
did
Championship
there.
the OIWA North American Championship in a 3-way dance main event. So that's gonna be pretty kick ass. But we can do the show that's Saturday when I'm there, and then we can do the show that Sunday when I'm home. Hopefully, I get home before WrestleMania is over. If not, we can do. I mean, we still can do the recap afterwards.
Hold up.
We just have to watch along.
Which airlines are you flying?
Shit, I don't know. They haven't got the ticket yet.
Don't be like Big Bad Kaiju and get put on Frontier because you'd be asked
Oh
out.
no! It ain't that kind of party. I'll end up like my bags, my gear will be lost. Fun story. The very first time I ever wrestled in Oregon, me and my little brother, we did a show in New Japan, and we had come home, and my buddy was like, "Hey, why don't you come up and wrestle in Portland?" So we're like,
Wow.
"Okay, cool." So we put our gear under the plane. We made it to Portland. Our gear went to Hawaii. So we had to go and buy basketball shorts and amateur wrestling shoes, and that started the gangsta gimmick because we had no fucking wrestling gear. So that's how
Is the gear still in
Ghetto
Hawaii?
Heisman was started.
You had to go to Big
Yeah.
Five?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Actually, yes. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And also hashtag get Sami Zayn on the show to hear out his conspiracy theory.
Hashtag free 3MB. Yeah.
Yep.
Free Ali. Hashtag free Ali.
Yeah.
And hashtag RIP to 3MB.
Hey, we'll be
Yeah.
the 3MB.
And fuck Chicago Bears. So yeah. And the one
Yo.
and
This is res-
ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time again.
Oh yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you hear and you want to donate to BuySam.net to keep the website going, so we can continue to bring you a very large and wide and entertaining variety of professional wrestling and MMA content, simply join us by going to www.slamchats.com. That is www.slamchats.com. Become Slamtastic. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For your boy Chemical Julian, for the man in the chair Shinoski, and for the newbie, everybody's name Miss Anissa Barr. This has been the franchise. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you on Wednesday.
Wow.
AEW.
Yeah.
Oh.